Hello everyone, if you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Kaldish and I've been playing Pokemon since back when Ruby and Sapphire came out. I love what the Legends series did with Arceus, the exploration, the novelty, and I was excited to see what ZA would bring to the series and how it would build off of Legends Arceus. Long story short, I had a blast playing this game and I'm still having a blast playing it. But this game is far from perfect. Today I want to walk through what I loved about the game, what I think they could have done better on, and whether or not Legends ZA is even worth your time, especially if you've been playing Pokemon for a long time like me. First off, as a veteran to the series, I feel like there's a lot this game gets right. It seems like people are pretty split down the middle with the real-time action in this game. I personally really enjoy it, and I get that they're not doing anything crazy or anything new as a video game, but I think this is a step in the right direction for the Pokemon franchise. The battling feels more responsive, and you have this cooldown system where you can kind of spam different moves. And instead of having more coverage on a Pokemon, you'd probably just rather have a bunch of moves of one type so you can spam super effective moves. And if you need a different move, you'd probably just rather switch to a different Pokemon. Now, one of the things I think I'm most hopeful about this game, I'm not the biggest fan of the auto battling system from Scarlet and Violet. And if they did something like this to replace the auto battling system, but in future mainline installments, you could still run up to somebody and have that turn-based fight if you choose to, I would enjoy that a lot more than the auto battling system we got from Scarlet and Violet. So Mega Evolutions are back in this game, and I don't have strong ties to Gen 6. I actually stopped playing Pokemon for Gen 6, 7, and 8, and only got back in with Scarlet and Violet. Now that I'm older and I've begun a video game collection, I plan on picking up all of the games I've missed and playing through them at least once. But I do remember Mega Evolutions being a cool highlight of when I looked back at Pokemon. I still kept up with the games over the years, even if I wasn't playing them. Now, I know that people are also divided about the fact that this game is purely set in Lumiose City. I don't hate this idea. I think that there's a lot of really good games that have been done set in a singular city. I think my biggest problem with this game being set in the one city is that it all just looks the same. If you're gonna have it set in one city and the city's gonna be bigger than it was in X and Y, why doesn't it look any different? The biggest complaint I have about this game is that you look at the windows and they're all just kind of copy and pasted JPEGs all over the building. And that's something I really agree with what a lot of fans have said online. Now, this game definitely performs better on the Switch 2 with smoother visuals, nicer frame rates, and way better load times. The problem is that you shouldn't have to buy a Switch 2 for this to happen, and this game in general I don't think is worth the price tag of $70. It's probably the most fun I've had playing Pokemon since Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, but I still don't think it's quite worth the price tag. Now, one major problem that I had with Scarlet and Violet is that the game felt like it just took way too long to get through. The introduction to the game and just all of the dialogue that was in the beginning really took me out of it. I originally played it back on the Switch when the games first came out, and I had to put it down. After all of the dialogue that you get in the beginning, I just could not get through Scarlet and Violet. After picking up my Switch 2 and hearing how much everyone loved Scarlet and Violet on the Switch 2 and how much better it performs, I decided to pick it up again for myself. I still feel like Scarlet and Violet had way too much dialogue in the early game, but it definitely was a way smoother experience and I had a lot more fun playing it the second time around. In contrast, Pokemon ZA has a lot of dialogue. It has a ton of dialogue early on, but I don't see it as a bad thing. The game keeps me interested enough and is constantly teaching me the new mechanics and new parts of the game where I'm kind of invested in what they're talking about, rather than just sitting there skipping through all of the dialogue because it's things that I already know as a Pokemon player. This game is pretty good at changing up the pace of what a Pokemon game can normally be, similar to Legends Arceus, but it does it in a way where everything still feels familiar. I don't know what it is, but the Legends games really have this aspect that makes me want to catch more Pokemon. It's the only game in the Pokemon series where I'm just constantly catching Pokemon, even if I've already caught that Pokemon before. One of the most jarring things that I think Game Freak did in this game was how building textures just look the same over and over again, especially the windows. You would see a window and expect it to have some kind of pop to it or maybe some kind of windowsill, and when you walk up to it, it's just completely flat. And you'll walk up to the side of the building and expect these shutters to maybe popping out a little bit, but no, it's just a flat blank wall across the board. Now, I have heard people talking about the copy and paste effect of all the windows just looking exactly the same on a building, and my brother made a good point about that. If you walk into a city that's kind of how it looks. If you see a big building like that, it's probably going to have the same windows across the board. But I do agree with what everyone's saying about the windows being flat and just textureless. Also, many buildings just can't be entered, and interiors are just sparse. Doors that seem like they should lead somewhere just don't. It's not really anything new to Pokemon, but for a game that's based in a city and focused on the city, it just seems like a missed opportunity not to be able to walk into more of these buildings or have a nice interior for a lot of these buildings. I will say the buildings you can walk into have very nice interiors and they look extremely well done. Because the game is confined to Lumiose City, the open world feels less expansive than something like Legends Arceus. Now again, I don't think this is a bad thing. I think that there's a lot of really well done city-based games, and I don't think it's a detriment that we need a massive, expansive open world to travel through. I just think that a game based inside of a city like this could have been done better. And even with the size of the map is okay. It's really just the exploration in the city isn't really there. As someone who's played the game for decades, I do feel like this game was a step in the right direction. I just don't feel like we've made enough steps in the right direction. And especially with the Pokemon leaks that have come out recently saying they only spent $13 million on this game, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not for a video game. I am keeping in mind that this is a spin-off game, it's not the mainline series, but I feel like with Pokemon being Nintendo's biggest property, they definitely could have put more money in this game and gotten more out of it. The catching mechanics are okay in this game, I don't have the biggest problem with them. I'm just not a huge fan of being able to catch the Pokemon when they faint. It felt like more of a challenge to try and catch them without fainting them, but now it just feels like everything's on easy mode and you kind of have to feint them and you have this opportunity open up once you fainted them. Now the graphics aren't all negative. The lighting in this game looks fantastic. The Pokemon models in this game look better than ever. The moves and attacks of this game look fantastic. And these cutscenes are the best Pokemon has ever looked. I got to the part in the game where you get the first cutscene from your first night in Lumiose City, and it's one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen in a Pokemon video game. The wild zones are alright to me. I could have taken them or leaving them, honestly. I think I would have preferred it if we could just go right to the outskirts of town and catch wild Pokemon. I think that would have been more interesting than trying to integrate the wild Pokemon into the city and making it all happen here. I really think they could have easily doubled the budget for this game and had it take place primarily in Lumiose City, but also given us more of this region. We've seen the region before and we know what a lot of it could look like, so being able to explore it but having this city be the main hub where a lot of the story is going to take place, I think would have made a lot of sense. And I think another huge missed opportunity was not being able to climb on the backs of Pokemon like you could in Legends Arceus. In a lot of ways, I don't think this game quite stacks up to Arceus. But in a lot of other ways, I'm having so much fun playing this game, and with Mega Evolutions being back, it's even more exciting. I don't think this game deserves nearly as much hate as I've seen it get online, but at the same time, it doesn't deserve a whole lot of praise. It's changed the formula a little bit, but hasn't reinvented the wheel. Bottom line, if you're a huge Pokemon fan like I am, this game would probably be worth it to you. But if you're more of a casual Pokemon fan, I don't think the $70 is worth getting this game, honestly. And you should probably wait until you can find it pre-owned at GameStop or find it on eBay. If you were at all a big fan of Legends Arceus, I think you'll enjoy this game enough. With that being said, I just wanted to share some of my feelings on the new Pokemon game, what I liked about it, and some of my complaints. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and if you want to see me do more Pokemon videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. Till next time, peace.